What's going on, everyone? This is Erik from Full Mount MMA, and today I am joined by UFC featherweight Chase Hooper. Chase, how you doing today?
Good. Just kind of enjoying the day off of training, trying to let my body heal and all that. And yeah, having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. I got to congratulate you. I saw not too long ago you actually got engaged to your longtime girlfriend. Any plans to get married yet? You guys gonna take it slow? What's the plan there?
I'm pretty much letting her do all that. She's kind of the planning side of things. I just, stand there.
I feel that. You've also been putting in some work with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson down in South Carolina pretty recently. How's that experience been? We love Stephen. He's obviously like the nicest guy ever. How's that been working with him?
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy that he can kind of keep up that like the nice guy energies all the time. But yeah, it was some great work with him and his dad, just kind of trying to fix a lot of the little like I can strike, but it's a lot of, technical stuff like little, positioning type things like entries, all that type of stuff. Just tuning everything up, getting me kind of, good solid basics and then kind of expanding from there. I was down there for 3 weeks, doing striking, twice a day. And over there, there's a super high level for the striking, obviously, and a super high standard. So it's kind of like a shake up. I had to kind of try to get to the level of what they were expecting of me. And I had a good time with it.
Oh, that's good to hear. I know you were kind of teasing going to Thailand before that. Are any plans to go to Thailand or not until COVID's all done and everything?
Yeah, that was kind of one of the big things was if I went to Thailand, I'd have to, stay in one of their government hotels for like 2 weeks before I would even be able to get out and train. Um, so then I'd have to burn, like 4, 5, 6 weeks to even get in a couple over there. I'm not sure what the requirements even were to get back. But even on top of that, like the flight to Thailand was more expensive than kind of the whole trip to South Carolina. So I feel like that made a lot more sense. And then obviously having, the ability to train with people who English is their first language makes it a lot easier to learn like technical stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wanted to talk a little bit about your last fight because obviously you had some issue with the commentary. You did win, importantly. You got that third
Yeah.
round heel hook win over Peter Barrett last December. So I guess just sort of why do you think the commentary team was sort of underestimating you that night? And what do you think you have to accomplish yourself to make that not happen anymore?
I just think I don't like to I don't know. I'm kind of over it now, but I think it was a lot of like they're trying to fill in the gap of, like they're trying to make their money and like make it worth, the while to keep them on the broadcast. So they're trying to keep like pumping stuff out, keep talking for the whole, 15 minutes. And for the whole, couple hours or whatever of the fight card. So it's kind of I understand that side of things where they're just trying to pump stuff out, just trying to keep saying stuff and keep keep the people that don't know as much like interested, I guess. But I just felt that it was they were making it sound like something like the Caceres fight where I got just, I feel like jabbed to death is more the right word. It was funny after that fight, actually, like one side of my face was all beat up and the other side was normal. So I was like, all right, I need to work on keeping that hand up and work on defense on that side. But I just felt like they were coming up with a narrative and it was just kind of they just kept building on each other and it was not quite representative of what was actually happening. I felt like my defense was actually much better than it was in the Caceres fight. I took, minimal damage. I don't think I really even had a scratch on my face at all. So that was kind of a huge goal for me going into that fight. But it was more because obviously he had the better counter for the wrestling. He was controlling the range a lot better. Like he was pushing forward. I was trying to counter strike the whole time. And then also the leg kicks obviously were one of the biggest factors. which I could see for like the judges perspective, that's what was winning the rounds, but it was like it was a 10-9. It wasn't a 10-8 or a 10-7. You know, it wasn't a crazy loss like that. It was just me not doing enough to win the rounds. But yeah, obviously it all worked out. And at the end of the day, I got my second paycheck. I'm still employed with the UFC, and I've got another win on the record. So I can't be too angry about it.
Yeah, I mean, you actually outstruck him in that fight. I know you posted the stats on your Instagram page. And now you're 2-1 in the promotion. So, I mean, there's really no question that you belong with this level of competition. Do you have like any plans for your next fight yet, as far as like a date or like possible opponents, or are you just kind of training, getting better right now and waiting for the UFC to call?
A lot of it's just kind of, really trying to build up the striking, obviously. Because I feel like I was there in that last fight. I was thinking about it a lot, but almost thinking too much. So I'm trying to get it to the point where I can kind of be on autopilot a little more. And obviously just building up my base as far as the striking goes, like having all these different moves, all these different angles that I can hit, quick with some good power, and doing it for a while, working on the endurance for the striking. But I've been, actively doing that the whole time I was at Wonderboys, and now I'm trying to implement a lot of those drills here at home. So now I'm just kind of waiting for the phone call from them. Obviously, I'm sure one's coming pretty quick, but yeah, nothing quite set in stone yet, but just trying to get better the whole time. Because at the end of the day, the fights are always getting harder, not easier. So I don't want to, keep going into every fight with the same level of, striking or grappling or, just fight IQ overall that I had in the last fight. I'm always trying to improve. But now it's even more vital because it's just, I don't know, such a cut and dry sport, especially with them just cutting so many people right now.
Yeah, definitely. You have like a set number of times that you want to fight this year, or really just, playing it by ear?
I like to stay active. I'm feeling like I'm ready to starve myself a little bit and go through the whole weight cutting process again. But before I was even in, I was fighting, 6 times a year. Obviously I never cut weight until contender. So that kind of shifts things a little bit, but I don't know. I'd like to get in 2 or 3 this year at least. But just making sure they're the right fights, making sure I'm doing enough in between fights, and just doing everything the right way. Because at the end of the day, I just have so much time left right now. Like, I'm only 21, and I'm still not even. I could hit my prime in 10 years. Who knows? Physically, so it's just kind of trying to make all these improvements so I can compete with these guys who are in their prime, physically. While I'm still kind of on the upward trajectory as far as that goes.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about the weight cut there, and like getting bigger yourself. How is the weight cut right now? Like, how much do you regularly cut, and do you think maybe a lightweight move might be in your future in a couple of years or so?
I think I honestly, if I were to go up to 55, I don't think it would be too crazy. People think that I'm like super skinny, but out of camp, I get pretty big, and not even fat. It's just my body just wants to be a little bigger. I don't think it would be too crazy of a move up to 55, but it's just kind of figuring out when is the right time. Because so far all my cuts have been pretty good. With the exception of my debut, I actually I cut for too long and my body was just kind of drained the day of the fight. But since then I figured out the cuts, I've streamlined it, and it's working out. Although each time I'm starting from a little bit higher. So it's kind of figuring that out. I don't know. I don't want to keep staying at 45 until I have a bad cut. But I guess that's kind of the line you got to play with as far as that goes. Like, I don't want to jump up too early, and I don't want to stay at 45 for too long. Because you'll see it with a lot of guys, like Kiesa's last fight at 55. He was super drained at the weigh-ins and stuff. He looked like he was going to die. Connor at 45, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of figuring that part out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Switching gears a little bit again, you've made some pretty great content with Ben Askren over the past year and a half or so. You guys have a cool relationship on Twitter and everything. When was the last time you guys talked? And I got to get your reaction to his boxing match with Jake Paul.
Ooh, let's see. I think he texted me a little bit in like January about the engagement stuff, just like congrats type of thing. But it's kind of funny, like the day before they announced it, I was just telling people how like, oh, I don't think Ben understands that this guy's just here for like trying to get the money from just like the content. He's trying to just keep pumping out the content and he's getting paid off of that basically. So he doesn't even need to box, especially not any of the UFC guys. And the next day it was like, oh, okay, I guess it's, pretty concrete now. I don't know. I was kind of unsure at first, but I think Ben's plan is to kind of, because he has great cardio. That's never been a question. Not for an Olympic level wrestler. So I think his plan is obviously to take the guy who's, much less experienced into the deeper waters, kind of just play it safe the first, 4 or 5 rounds and then just beat him up after that. And I think he's obviously been winning a lot of the trash talk game so far. He's been doing a great job of that. That's kind of a thing that I forgot about with his fights, is he's always so good at building them up. So that's kind of been fun to witness, knowing him to a degree. But yeah, everything's been cool. He's a cool guy, and I'm hoping he beats up Jake Paul for the MMA community.
I think we all are. Yeah. Last question here before I let you go. We've got some pretty big fights tonight, but I actually wanted to ask you about the pay-per-view next weekend. We just spoke to Jan Blachowicz. He said he was going to knock out Israel Adesanya with a left high kick. I was wondering if you had a similar prediction, or maybe if you think Izzy's going to take this fight.
I think so many people are focused on the size difference. But really, I don't think Adesanya is that small, just because of how much weight these guys cut. He's probably walking around at like 220, cutting to 185. That's not even out of the realm of possibility. He could be even bigger, just because proportionally, that's not as much as some of these guys cutting to 55 from 190 or something like that. But I think if he comes in like a little smaller, he'll obviously have the speed advantage, and he's not. He's still got great power. I don't think he's a guy that relies on the strength too much. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I could see him having trouble with someone that tries to grapple, but I don't see much, or someone that's longer, but I don't think Jan is either of those things. So I think Adesanya might pull it off.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's Chase's prediction, Israel Adesanya for the win. Well, thank you again for joining us today, Chase. Before I let you go, do you have any shout outs, maybe, personal ventures, teammates, anyone you want to give some light to? The floor is yours.
I don't know. I don't really have a ton right now. Just kind of, my social medias, obviously, Chase_Hooper on Twitter just got verified. So that was sweet. It doesn't really change anything, but that's cool. And CHOOP556 on Instagram. That's about it. I'm trying to get some streaming going soon, but I got to drop a ton of cash on a PC. So I'm kind of holding off on that. But yeah, that's it for me.
Well, there we go. Make sure to link that down in the description below. Chase Hooper, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. It was great having you on. If you guys like this content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss our videos. But thanks again, Chase. It was great talking to you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey guys, it's Erik from Full Mount MMA. Check out some of our other videos, and if you like that content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss an update.